Ladies and gentlemen, Kathleen Kennedy is leaving Lucasfilm when she's damn good and ready. Let's be completely honest. Kathleen Kennedy is going to be there for as long as she wants to. These rumors pop up every once in a while. Did you know that her contract's going to be up soon? Oh, I heard that she's going to be leaving any time now. Here's the thing, right? At some point in time, the rumors are going to be true. Kathleen Kennedy is going to leave Lucasfilm. She is going to hand in her keys to Bob Iger and say sayonara to Disney the last time. While there are some that are out there speculating, okay, trying to line up all of the numbers that, I thought I heard that, by October this year, her contract's up. Okay, she's going to be gone. She's going to be handing over the keys to the castle to who exactly? Okay, like getting rid of Kathleen Kennedy at Lucasfilm isn't going to fix Star Wars because who's next in line? Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau, who's been signing off on all this crap or making it up from scratch themselves. Bro, it's not going to get better anytime soon. The rot is deep over at Lucasfilm, and if you believe any of the stories that have come out recently in regards to Marvel purging all of their activists, what was also the other side of that coin? Lucasfilm is doubling down on this nonsense. So yeah, Kathleen Kennedy ready to retire, but she has a contingency in place because she's waiting for a big old W to cross her desk. Well, she's going to be waiting a long time because ever since she's taken the big seat is yet to get a big W, if we're being completely honest, because what was it earlier this year? It came out that Disney still hasn't recouped the money they spent to purchase the franchise back in 2012. In the 12 years that she's been in charge, they have yet to recoup the $4.6 billion it cost to buy this and pry it out of George Lucas's feeble hands and steal it from out below his weak chin. Kathleen Kennedy is eventually going to leave. It's just going to be when she's damn good and ready. Kathleen Kennedy apparently has something in common with much of the Star Wars fan base. She wants Kathleen Kennedy to leave Lucasfilm. But according to Film Threats, Chris Gore, shout out, she's only willing to walk out the door under one condition, namely, she wants to leave on the heels of a massive critical and commercial success. Well, we see what's in the pipe, okay? Mandalorian and Grogu. Oh, okay, cool. That's a repurposed script for season 4, which, if that's off of the heels of season 3, I don't think that's going to be the W you're looking for, and you're going to be in for a rude awakening once that hits the theaters, realizing that, the popularity of Baby Yoda isn't quite at the same level it was back in 2019 when that shit was printing money. Yeah, I don't think so. Or what's the other? Oh, right, the Rey movie. Oh, the Rey movie, but I'm sure we're going to have more confirmation on all of the nonsense. And hey, maybe roll the dice on some potential W's that are out there at D23 this weekend. We heard rumors that there's going to be a big ol' announcement coming through this weekend. And by the time that you see this, maybe it's already been made and you'll be hearing a follow-up on this in the very near future. So maybe Kathleen Kennedy has that win readied and waiting. She has it in the quiver. She is racking that arrow, ready to fire. Perhaps she's taken that round, she's loaded it into the mag, she's put that retirement barrel in her mouth and about to do a Kurt Cobain tribute. Since Disney's initial acquisition of Lucasfilm in 2012, the company has been under the direction of film industry veteran coffee fetcher Kathleen Kennedy. Back then, the longtime George Lucas and Steven Spielberg associate promised George that she would take care of his life's work. Yeah, and to be fair, that's the one promise she did keep, because she definitely did take care of George's work. Oh, she took care of all of it. Under Kennedy, the Star Wars franchise has gone from the most evergreen IP of all time to a category on a failing streaming service. But yeah, to a sour note punching bag for YouTubers and streamers all around the world. Yeah, highlighted by the Acolyte that just wrapped up, like a month ago? And nobody watched that stuff. Nobody watched it at all. You know what they did watch? The people laughing and mocking that. Holy crap, so many people's careers got made over how terrible that film is. And I'm praying that the big Star Wars announcement is season 2 of The Acolyte. You know that they're that stupid, right? Kennedy presided over the deeply unpopular Star Wars sequel trilogy, which saw the destruction, the character assassination of Han Solo, Luke Skywalker, having the audacity to not reunite Han, Luke, and Leia on screen. You stupid asses. Yeah, pushing a younger, dramatically worse and more diverse cast that doesn't want anything to do with Star Wars anymore. What was it? Oscar Isaacs, one of the biggest Star Wars fans that has ever been employed by Lucasfilm, wouldn't come back to the franchise unless he wanted to buy a bigger house. John Boyega, one of the first people we've seen associated with The Force Awakens, can't stop talking about how much disappointment resonates with him on a daily basis on how they messed up the character, or at least the potential of Finn. And Daisy Ridley, you know, the only time that she can get work is if Kathleen Kennedy's feeling generous. It's crazy, man. She also oversaw, yes, Solo, a Star Wars story, which holds the distinction of being the first ever Star Wars film to lose money at the box office. But don't worry, it'll have company by 2026. When you couple that with the critical and commercial failures on Disney Plus, like The Acolyte, Ahsoka, Obi-Wan Kenobi, The Book of Boba Fett, and then on the animated side, Visions, The Bad Batch, Rebels, like, none of that stuff has turned a profit. And there's been so much. It's at this point in time, there is more bad Star Wars than even passable Star Wars. It becomes clear that under Kennedy's supervision, Star Wars has fallen a long way from the powerhouse sci-fi franchise it once was. Yes, the most financially successful cinematic franchise in history. And now we have gone 5 and will very likely go 7 years without a film in theaters, with every failed project an announcement that never ultimately sees the light of day. Yeah, because I think only Al-Qaeda has more dead pilots than Lucasfilm at this point. What is it, Rian Johnson? Rian Johnson, the architect of The Last Jedi, the flashpoint that ended up killing Star Wars for so many people. He's supposed to have a trilogy. What about that Taika Waititi film? Patty Jenkins is supposed to have a Rogue Squadron film. Well, that stuff was announced, I think, pre-coof, right? How much of that has come to fruition? Oh, right, exactly nothing. Nothing at all. Don't worry, guys. The guys who oversaw all of that crap, all of those awful streaming shows, they're the ones who are going to right the ship. Dave Filoni is going to save Star Wars because he Vadered. Shut up. According to Film Threats, Chris Gore, on a recent episode of The Pro Show with WDW Pro, Kathleen Kennedy actually wants to leave Lucasfilm, but only under very specific circumstances. Because, yeah, if she was to leave right now, there would be so many people that would, A, be happy that, okay, at least there's potential, okay? Depends on who they replace her with, but we kind of know exactly the direction that they're going to go. But then at the same time, she's never going to be able to salvage her reputation. It has already been written, just like how George R.R. Martin is never going to finish the books, Kathleen Kennedy is never going to turn Star Wars around. We've been hearing lately that Kathleen Kennedy is not very hands-on with Star Wars at this point. What are we back? During the sequel during the sequel trilogy days, oh, Kathleen's there. Oh, no, she's shutting down production. No, she's getting far more hands-on. Oh, no, now she's taking a step back. Like, ugh. Hollywood scooper WDW Pro said to Chris Gore on a recent episode of the live stream show, are you hearing anything similar? That she may be operating in title only, at least for now. Yes, she wants to leave and retire, Gore said, but she wants to do it on a win. Gore went on to say, in order to leave, Kathleen Kennedy wants a huge success that she can ride into retirement, because, yeah, she can go out on top, right? But that might sell well, okay, and I'm sure Bob Iger would love that press release by saying, she was the lady that took this potential rich franchise from the doldrums, the post-prequel days, okay? Because you remember, what's the first line of spoken dialogue in the sequel trilogy? This will begin to make things right. The audacity of that in hindsight. Holy. It could be a smash hit television show. Those aren't coming. Or a major box office victory with a theatrical release. Because what's the next TV show that they have scheduled, right? Like we heard that Ahsoka Season 2 has been greenlit. Well, that makes sense because Dave Filoni's going to have a stupid Mandoverse wrap-up show. But then after that, you have Skeleton Crew, which I don't even know if it has a release date. It's supposed to be coming out sometime this year. Andor Season 2, which is probably going to be the best written show, but nobody's going to watch it because nobody watched Season 1 to begin with. But after that, like, unless D23 has a whole host of super exciting announcements, you've announced a bunch of shows. How's that Rangers of the New Republic show working out for you? Oh, yeah, probably about as well as your guys' defense in the Gina Carano lawsuit. Oopsie daisy. But yeah, at this point in time, if she wants to leave on a high note, you better wait until the end of that trial and hopefully things work out in your favor. But yeah, in other words, she wants to go out on a high note like George Costanza on Seinfeld. Oof. Stands to reason that Kennedy would want to retire. She's 71 years old. Imagine that, getting the reins of Star Wars, of Indiana Jones, of Willow, for Christ's sakes, at 59, and fumbling the bag so hard that in your 70s, you're just waiting for something to break your way that you can take credit for out the door. Wow. And has enjoyed a long and highly lucrative career, yes, as a professional gopher. However, the recent projects are indicative of what the studio under her leadership is capable of. The Acolyte, yes. Rotten Tomato score, low, yeah, getting as low as 13%, sits at 17%. Oh man, I undersold that when I was talking Borderlands. Holy. That Park Place's editor-in-chief, John F. Trent, pointed out Leslie Headland's live-action series lost 75% of its audience. So yeah, 87% of the audience was turned off by the show to begin with, and then 75% of those hangers-on dipped out. I would imagine the only people that were left were the YouTube content creators. Kennedy also announced a plethora of Star Wars projects. Okay, yeah, let's see how many I missed. Rian Johnson's Trilogy, Rogue Squadron, yes, by Patty Jenkins, filmed by Kevin Feige. Oh, right, I missed that one. Oh, yes, and oh, right, Dumb and Dumber, the architects of the collapse of Game of Thrones, David, Benioff and Dan Weiss. Yeah, they were supposed to have a show. Right. Oh, my God, I forgot totally about that one. With Kennedy's current Lucasfilm contract reportedly set to expire in October, and I'd imagine that we'll probably hear, just imagine that, right? Like, I'm recording this Thursday evening, so I haven't heard a damn thing about what's supposed to be happening at D23. But imagine the big announcement as Kathleen Kennedy is signed on for another 3 years to oversee the brand new Star Wars sequel trilogy starring Rey and how she's going to reestablish the Jedi Order. Oh, but I'm praying for that, mostly because when you're in the content creator sphere, when you're running this game, job security is a difficult thing to come by, and I couldn't think of anything more profitable, not for Lucasfilm, but for all of us out here, than a sequel trilogy. Be stupid enough to do it, please. Think of the fans for once. So with all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.